solve a system of equations using substitution, we usually have an equation here with two variables on one side of the equal sign and then one variable on the other side. And then we have a second equation where one of the variables is by itself. It doesn't have to be specifically x or specifically y. It's just one of those variables is going to be by itself on one side of the equal sign. So that tells us that when we have this variable equal to something else, we can substitute whatever that is for that variable. So when we rewrite this equation, I'm going to rewrite that equation, 3x plus 4, and then y is now going to be 3x. So I'm going to replace y with 3x. Okay, so all I did was take this value that y is equal to, and I put it where y used to be. So here we have 3x plus 4y equals 45. Here we have 3x plus 4, and then this new y equals 45. Okay, and then we're just going to simplify. So we have 3x plus 4 times 3x is 12x equals 45. Okay, and because these are on the same side, they're like terms. So you don't have to subtract anything from both sides. You would just add these two things together. So these two terms get added together. They're like terms. So we have 3x plus 12x is 15x equals 45. Okay, now we can just solve like a normal equation. We have 15 times x on this side and 45 on this side. So since we're multiplying here, we divide by 15. So we can do the opposite to solve for x. This becomes 1. 1x is just x. And 45 divided by 15 is 3. Now, because this is only half of our solution, we also need the y value. But this is a lot easier than elimination because you can just take this 3 and put it back here where x is, because x is 3. So we're going to replace x with 3. So I'm going to rewrite y equals 3 times 3. And so y equals whatever 3 times 3 is, which is 9. So our whole solution is going to be 3, 9. So that's our point that both of these equations share. For our next example, we have a set of equations, a system of equations, where we have x equals, and it looks like this has two terms, okay? But we still have to substitute this whole thing, both of these terms, in for x. So when we rewrite that, we have 4y plus 2 times all of this, because all of this equals x. So we have to put 2y plus 3 equals -2. Okay. So also, to tell that you're on the right track, you should only have one variable when you substitute these in properly. So they should both be y's or both be x's when you substitute properly. If you have a y and an x, that means that you plugged something in or substituted wrong. Okay, so we have 4y plus 2 times, so this is times because we have a parentheses, so we're going to multiply both of these terms by 2. That's called distribution. So we're going to distribute this 2 first. So we have 4y plus 2 times 2y is 4y, and 2 times 3 is 6. And I just brought down the rest. Okay. And over here we have 4y plus 4y. Those are like terms because they both have y's. So we can add those two coefficients together, the two numbers in front. We can add those together. So we're going to get 4 plus 4 is 8. And then I'm going to bring down the plus 6 and the negative 2. Okay, so now this looks a little bit better. That's what we're used to. So we have 8y plus 6 equals negative 2. We're going to subtract 6 first. Okay, we're going to subtract 6 from both sides because now this is 0, so we don't need that anymore. We have 8y equals negative 8. And our last step is to divide 8y and negative 8 by 8. Okay, so if every time we do something on this side of the equal sign, we also have to do the same thing on this side. So we divide it by 8, so that would be 1. We have 1y equals, we divide by 8 here, and we get negative 1, because negative 8 divided by 8 is negative 1. Don't be afraid to use your calculator to do this part of the equation. Okay, so y equals negative 1. And then on this side, we know where to put that negative 1, because this is only half of our answer, half of our solution. So to get the rest of our solution, we have to actually put that negative 1 back in. We're going to substitute that for y. So I'm going to rewrite x equals 2, and instead of y, I'm now going to write negative 1, because we know what y is now, plus 3. Okay, and then we just multiply and simplify. So we have x equals 2 times 1 is negative 2, plus 3. So negative 2 plus 3 is 1. So actually our whole answer is going to be the coordinate where this is the x value and this is the y value. So our answer is going to be a point. It's going to be the value 1, negative 1. Okay, so that's our answer. That was how to solve a system of equations using substitution.